Get informed. Hello, I'm Andy Rocco. This is Get Informed, Sirius XM 406. It's Get Informed. It's a talk show where I have funny comedians come on who are very politically savvy, and they tell me what's going on in the world because I don't follow the news really that well, or I don't know. I just don't care. I just don't give a hoot. Plus, it was my birthday, so I haven't really followed the news at all. It was yesterday, so I was like, I'm going to shut down and not listen to any of the news.
So you can extra not care.
Yes, and that is my girlfriend and fact-checker and co-host, Lisa Herring.
Hi.
Hi, thanks for joining the show. We have a great show, some returning guests, some of my favorite favorite people in the world. First, the wild man himself, Erik Tanouye.
Hello, happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
May I ask how old you are?
I'm 36.
All right.
And Mr. Johnny Frusciante, John Frusciante.
Hi, Rocco. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
36 years of not following the news.
Not following the news. You can't expect a baby to follow the news, though.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll give you 30 years of not paying attention to the world.
You expect people to pay attention to the news at 6 years old.
Yeah. You know, not read the newspaper, but notice if something happens on television.
Yeah, that's the age that you start becoming aware of political and cultural happenings.
Yeah. I remember when I was 6, I was like, Afghanistan has been invaded by Russia? I hope we don't boycott the Olympics.
Very clever. So let's find out what's going on in the news. There's a thing going on. Lisa, what's the first thing?
That thing is the sequester.
Oh, yeah. What is that? What is that? It's like the last time I remember sequester was the OJ thing.
Right.
Yes, it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, all of government funding is going to a hotel for 2 weeks.
But what is it? What does it do? I mean, am I going to be affected by this? Me, Andy
No,
Rocco?
I can guarantee you will not.
Is my birthday going to be affected by this?
Considering that it already happened, yes, definitely.
Is it going to, because my mom bought a Zooter on eBay.
I don't know what a Zooter is.
It's a kick scooter.
It's a razor scooter for adults.
No, but it's better. Anyway, the point is...
Was it a government-funded razor scooter for adults?
No.
Then I don't think it will be affected by the sequester.
Okay. It's not a razor scooter. That's a brand. It's a regular kick scooter called Zooter, and that's what I'm getting.
Is it made by NASA?
No.
Then probably not.
Okay.
Wait, did she bought it for herself or for you for your birthday?
For me.
Oh, okay.
For my birthday.
I was excited that your mom was going to be scooting around town.
Yeah.
Because then it might be affected if she requires like Medicare. I don't know how old she is. If she falls on her scooter.
But to the sequester, what is this thing? It's I kind of have a vague idea what it is.
I believe. Should I buzz in? I believe it's a series of self-imposed financial cuts by the government that when they didn't get a grand budget compromise, they decided to kick the can down the road, but give themselves a penalty of like, well, if we don't get this figured out by the end of the year, we'll cut all these things.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to happen at New Year's, and then they were like, we didn't quite make it. Let's kick it back a few months.
Right.
And this is something that would cut like defense, veterans.
Yeah, it cuts something like $75 billion or something like that or more. Actually, more than that. But it's... Yeah,
it doesn't cut any programs. It just cuts money from programs. So nothing is being shut down. It's not like all of the Department of Defense is being shut down.
Would a lot of people lose their jobs?
No.
Yeah? You sure?
No, nobody's losing their jobs, but people are getting less shifts. Like, for instance, this weekend at airports, there were less TSA agents because of this government funding. Mm-hmm. So I guess this would affect you if you were a terrorist.
Yeah. Or you enjoyed being frisked, despite being, a 4-year-old with spina bifida.
Right. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. That was crazy.
Yeah, this is, you may remember, well, you wouldn't remember because you don't follow the news, but...
No, I follow the news occasionally.
Like Erik said, they started talking about this around New Year's when they were like, we got to pass this, we got to make this budget deal, and what's happening, the reason that this happened is that the Democrats were saying, well, we want to cut spending by taxing wealthier people. And the Republicans were saying, well, we want to cut spending by eliminating Medicare and Medicaid or significantly cutting it. And so since neither one of those, they sort of played chicken with each other as is a responsible thing to do in politics.
Right.
And neither side blinked, and so now we have this happening.
But I came up with a metaphor for it. You just turned 36. So imagine you said, I need to start going to the gym. I'm 36. I need to start working out regularly.
Yeah, I did say that.
And then, you're like, if I don't go to the gym by the end of March, I'm going to start, at the very least, taking the stairs every day at work just to make sure, but I should go to the gym.
Right.
And then about halfway through March, you're like, I'm never going to go to the gym. But taking the stairs is as good. So you've created your own little easier way out from actually going to the gym. Then you're like, I'll go to the gym next year.
Yeah, I'll go walking instead of going to the gym. Yes, I have done that negotiation many a time. Now, my one question is, this sounds so vaguely like just the fiscal cliff thing, though. How much of a difference is there between these things? That's what they said, the fiscal cliff, when we were approaching it, they were like, we're deciding what the fiscal cliff is, how high we're going to make the debt ceiling. And then this sequester thing happened, and then it's just yeah, we're still deciding what we're doing, kind of it sounds like essentially the same thing.
Yeah, they sort of are. They're related because since part of the agreement on the fiscal cliff was well, we won't completely solve these problems, but there might be a sequester coming up in March. So
Jeez. It's so weird. It's just I think on the show one time I said I'm positively sure that I'm not decided on this. It feels just like that. We're just coming to great conclusion that we're not being able, we're not deciding anything. It feels like it's so weird that the news is just making such a big deal about it. It just seems but how big of a deal is it?
It depends. I mean, part of it is just that one party, I won't name names, but one party just refuses to compromise on anything and just is well, we want spending cuts across the board for no matter what. Yeah. And then the other party, again, I won't name names, trying to be more reasonable. It's okay, well, what if we do this? Well, what if we do this?
Can I guess that one of them is the Donner Party?
Yes, the Donner Party, and then the Monster Mash Party.
Oh, wow. I think we should have more monsters here. But I think we should eat those monsters.
It's interesting that they, one of the things they announced today is that they are going to find a deal to funnel more money back into the military because there's been some significant military cuts here. And everybody's well, we can't have that. So the government is finding a way to pump more money back into the military.
We should pump more. I feel like we should always pump more money into the schools, right? Am I right in thinking this? The schools are more horribly underfunded.
Yeah, and 70,000 kids are getting kicked out of the Head Start program as a result of this.
But they can join the military.
Yeah, that's crazy. This because a lot of them go to the military so they can have a better career later in life. Yeah, it's fucking messed up shit. It's messed up, I tell you. I don't tolerate it. Oh, I would just. When I get my zooter, I'm going to fucking zoot around and fucking try to forget about what a crummy world this is.
I thought you were going to zoot around yelling how mad you are, like Peter Fish.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm going to just zoot. Is there something else? Is there anything else in the news, Lisa? Any major thing?
Yeah, there's a few things that are happening. Congress renewed the Violence Against Women Act.
No, that's good.
So you still can't be violent against them.
Yeah.
Now, am I correct in saying there were some people who voted against the Violence Against Women Act? There's 3 dudes.
Know who they were, but I have no doubt that happened.
Some dude is I mean, yeah,
maybe they deserve it sometimes.
Yeah, I think also just to defend that guy who's doing that. Let me just defend.
Andy Rocco, defender of violence towards women.
Let me play devil's advocate and defend the guy at the same time. And be yeah, it's a crime to beat up anybody. I don't know why we have to make this a legislation that we're.
Just point of information. I think there was actually some women who voted against it because it also has provisions to just enforce that crime against homosexuals counts as hate crimes. So even though it's called the Violence Against Women Act, it's also for some other groups too.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're right.
So it's okay. So the producer of the show who doesn't have a microphone and we didn't hear any of that. Now I have to edit this. Cut that out.
If he were a woman, I'd hit him so hard.
Jason, take the. There. Anyway, so it covers more. It's strange that they call it women. Then they should call it spouse or
Violence Against People Act.
Yeah, but that's also again isn't that just illegal anyway? Why is It's
Well,
like what's the act? What is it supposed to do? I don't.
If I remember correctly,
From those court-mandated courses you went to.
Yeah. I like doodled myself punching women through the entire session of classes. But if I remember correctly, it increases the penalties against people who commit crimes against women and homosexuals. It also, there's this stipulation in it that Native Americans can prosecute non-Native Americans in Native American courts.
Wow.
Which is one of the things that it was one of the sticking points for somebody who voted against it, who feels like it's kind of sticky constitutionally.
No, but this is for domestic violence against women that occurs on Native American territory.
Yes.
So it's not. They're not saying like we can extradite you from your city to like native territory to be. It's like you came into our, native territory and beat up a woman.
Hey, you don't like where you live? We're gonna put you someplace even shittier than that. Can you believe that? Yeah. You thought you had it bad. Now we're gonna put you on a shittier reservation.
Right.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
Which means that it's no longer safe to take all of your money and go to a casino for the weekend and beat women.
Exactly.
And to tie this in with another news story, which is the Supreme Court Voting Rights Act one, is similar. I think like you were asking why do we need to protect specifically women. I think that's the nation and the world has a history of behavior towards and oppression of certain classes and types of people. So that sometimes you need to make it even more explicit in the law, rather than just say, okay, all the slaves have been freed. I guess equality is here. You have to sometimes be like, oh, by the way, let's just in case, let's make a law that says like, hey, you can't oppress these people.
Right.
Like the announcements on the subway that you can't beat up people on the subway because it's illegal.
Or assault a MTA worker, which is a felony. Which I think is
all the time.
Yeah.
It's just so strange that we need to be reminded, and it's strange that it's even a debate.
Like if you go into a bank and they're just, hey, by the way, everyone at this bank, you can't rob this bank. It's a crime. Just wanted to make that clear.
Sorry.
I was going to say the really bad news about all this, though, is that the people who are in charge of writing up and enforcing this law suffer from the sequester. So the law won't get passed.
I was going to say just they're a bunch of white dudes.
Yeah.
If you're wondering who didn't vote for it, it's 160 Republicans voted against the
Donner Party.
Yes.
The Donner Party.
They plan to eat themselves.
That's
a lot of people. That was higher than I expected.
It is.
I think sometimes we should just change the name of the show to just Republicans Suck or something, because it's just like every time there's. I guess I get too many liberal-minded people, but it just seems like the Republicans are just fucking up shit like left and right whenever they're doing.
It is bizarre. I don't understand why you would vote against a law like that.
I would think even if you disagreed with the law entirely, you would still vote for it just because. Right. Come on, man.
And especially a party that is so invested or gives a lot of lip service to the idea of them being focused on changing the image of their party.
Yeah.
They have these people like Rubio and Bobby Jindal saying like, oh, we need a new, nicer or like more central Republican Party, and they're still behind the scenes pulling the same shit that gives them a bad name.
Yeah.
My metaphor for this is you go to a restaurant with your friends and everyone's like, hey, let's order nachos, and you look around the table and you realize everyone's super into nachos, and you're like, I don't like nachos, but maybe I shouldn't say anything. Maybe I'm in the wrong. Maybe nachos are good.
Right.
But that's a good metaphor at the same time. It's a weird metaphor because you should speak up for yourself if you don't like nachos.
But you should just like, if it's all your friends, or if all of your friends are like, hey, Rocco, nachos are pretty good.
Yeah. But
and also nachos are more subjective than violence against women. It's more like you go out with your friends and you're like, hey, I'm going to beat up this woman, and all your friends are like, hey, man, maybe we shouldn't do that.
I'm really excited for the rest of your metaphors.
Oh, that's hilarious.
7 women that I counted were on that list.
That's because their husbands told them to vote.
Right.
Well,
you get home.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They had it coming.
Yeah.
But were there any Democrats who voted against it?
It doesn't look like it.
Wow, that's fascinating.
The list that I'm looking at has a giant banner in the middle of it that I can't get rid of, so it is a little bit hard to see.
Is there going to be anything for women who continue to stay in these relationships? Should they get fined too? I feel because they're kind of dumb for
Aiding
staying
and
in those
abetting.
relationships, right? They should get out. They should be fined like $50 a day the more they stay in these relationships.
You should be a victim advocate.
Yeah, that's exactly my idea.
Just show up at their house and be like, what's wrong with you? Come on.
That'll
you
make things a lot
see?
better.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get it. That's me. I'm just
I would say often they don't have any place to go. I think it would be the metaphorically. They're like, oh, we're out of nachos. You're like, well, okay.
I just
That
why don't
metaphor
they
is-
just get on their Zooters and go someplace else? Just
Their husbands cut the brakes on the Zooters.
Oh, okay. By the way, one of the fine features on the Zooter is the brake.
Power brakes.
It has a brake on it
Wow.
that like you can squeeze versus on the Razor scooter you have
Right.
to push on the back wheel a little bit. Anyway, more tips about Zooters throughout the show and more metaphors from Erik Tanouye.
This week's show brought to you by Zooters.
And metaphors.
and metaphors.
They're like advertisers, except if advertisers were goats and money was grass.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Get Informed. We're back. I'm Andy Rocco. This is Get Informed. I've been talking with Erik Tanouye and John Frusciante, and my girlfriend Lisa's here. And we're talking about the sequester. We talked about the women violence thing. A lot of big, the whole that it's bad. You know, it's bad, and Republicans are being douchebags about it. And but I feel like this is a big news thing. I'm excited about this. I was actually really excited when Lisa told me that we should talk about it on the show. But they just cured HIV in a newborn.
They cured HIV in a newborn who's now a toddler that they've been testing periodically, but he does not, or she, they won't disclose that, doesn't seem to have any sign of the virus in them anymore.
Okay, now, just for everybody's knowledge, I read the article very quickly. The only thing that really stuck out at me, and this is so stupid and idiotic, but one of the doctors who's working on this is named Dr. Gay, and I just thought that was just weirdly wrong and weird, and like that was the only thing that stuck out to me.
Because you associate HIV with gay people?
Yes.
What if the doctor's name was Dr. Dirty Needles?
Hello, I'm Alexander S. Dirty Needles.
It's hyphenated. My father was dirty and my mother was needles.
But I think that's really exciting. But the one thing just to clarify, I'm curious to see if anyone could do this. I'll admit that I don't know. But what is the difference between having HIV and having AIDS? What is the deal with that?
I think that having HIV is kind of like having the chicken pox, and then AIDS is kind of like shingles. It's like much worse.
Somebody's taking over metaphor too.
All right, Erik Tanouye, metaphor.
Defer to Erik Tanouye for the metaphors here.
Let's see. I would say
You can't stump the metaphor master.
I know.
But yeah, Eric.
having HIV is like belonging to Columbia House, and then AIDS is like when you forget to return the mailer that month and they send you the CD. You get first infected with HIV,
Right.
and then AIDS is the sort of full blown the thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Is
That's what I kind of always thought.
You can live with HIV for a long time, but once you
right,
get AIDS,
like
it's
Magic
pretty serious.
Johnson. He
Right.
lived for fucking ever.
Right. And basically does not have it in his system anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the mild form of it, and you're very susceptible to having full blown. Dude, that's what scientists call it. They're
Full-blown,
like,
that's
yeah, they're
exactly.
just like
There is super AIDS. That's the scientific name.
there's the super AIDS.
Yeah, because there's different strains of HIV and AIDS, and when you have more than one strain, you have super AIDS.
But I'm just kind of I'm happy about this, though. I feel good that the AIDS will be not like so much of an issue.
What
anymore.
I was excited about when I heard the story was that they were saying it's rare to even find this because in America the birth rate for HIV has gotten so low that I think it's 130 or 180 only 130 or 180 newborns each year have it because they treat the mothers. And you can that was the thing that you can treat the mothers with, I guess, antivirals or retrovirals while they're pregnant, and then the child will not have HIV. But this was a case where the mother did not go and get treated, so the baby was born.
She didn't know that she had HIV.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
She didn't know she had AIDS.
She
And then
didn't
the
go to the
nurse-
doctor
nurse-
at all in the duration of her pregnancy.
Dr. Gay or Nurse Gay. Try not to giggle, Andy. Too late.
You set me up. You said Dr. Gay and Nurse Gay.
I stared right at your face and said, Dr. Gay.
And Nurse Gay. Nurse Gay got
I forget.
me.
I think, is it Dr. Hannah Gay, I think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she treated the infant, but then still the mother, I think, disappeared with the baby. And then they didn't treat the baby for like 2.5 years. The baby came back, and then they tested it, and that's when they discovered, like, oh, I successfully cured this baby of AIDS or HIV, and they had to like run all the tests twice because they assumed one of the tests had been wrong.
Right.
Right.
That's a little bit of a happy like stumble upon type thing, I guess. Where you're like, oh, like. Is there a metaphor for this kind of discovery?
So like somebody cancels your Columbia House subscription, and then you don't see them for 2 years, and then they come back and they're like, you know what? I never belonged to Columbia House. It's almost like I have no membership to them.
Very good. Very good.
You have to be at least like 25 to get that joke. What's Columbia House?
So this will like help prevent it, I guess. But like, will people stop getting AIDS? You think? Or?
Well, I think what's nice about this is that in Africa, where there are a lot more babies born with HIV, they can use the fact that she gave a higher dose, I think, than normal, and that was what they think did it. So they can now treat more newborns who have HIV.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good. At least
Yeah, that's the thing, is hopefully it'll be more treatable, maybe not more preventable, but it's also that thing of where like it's kind of expensive to have this treatment. It's kind of expensive to get these drugs and get this treatment. So
Because of the prescription drug company.
I'm also hoping that all the schlocky sketch shows that use it as a punchline soon will be not as shocking.
Got to go back to cancer for your
Yeah.
punchline diseases.
yeah, I actually read that a sketch show was cured of this punchline in its early rehearsals.
Yeah, that's great.
The hope for this, though, is kind of like diminished by the fact that apparently what they did to the baby has existed for a while. And like when adults are exposed to AIDS, they give them this like thing within 72 hours and it prevents them from getting it. So this isn't like new technology. It's like they just decided to start giving it to babies.
Interesting.
But is it the fact that it's like purely cured or no? Or is it like even with adults you do that in 72 hours and you're...
I think it's that functionally cured is what it makes them. And I kind of missed the article if the baby had no HIV or was without it for now.
Like,
Here's a question that Seth MacFarlane might ask. 21 years from now, when this baby's an adult, would it be cool to have sex with this baby? Again, it's no longer a baby.
Yeah, I also like to think that like this whole thing where babies are getting AIDS, I find it very strange. Like, who's having sex with these babies and giving them AIDS?
Monkeys.
Well, yeah.
Okay, that's all I needed to know.
It's not. The babies are using dirty needles. Is the problem.
Is there a new news item that you have for us, Lisa?
There is. An Australian tycoon is recreating the Titanic.
All right.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yes.
Sounds like a great plan.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, good job.
Well,
All right.
should we
Next news
That's
item.
just
Lisa.
like too much money and hubris, right? I
Yeah.
mean, why do we need that?
Yeah.
Just because he can do it. He's like, I'll make it float.
Yeah.
And then where do you cross the line? Like, is it okay to rebuild the Hindenburg?
Yeah.
And then is it okay to rebuild like a concentration camp? At some point, somebody's like, "Hey, man."
There's like also like it's kind of like the way they reboot certain movies that there's this thought where you're like, this is actually not a bad movie. If you just named it something else, it would have been just a fine movie as that. Like I thought the remake of Dawn of the Dead was good, but I thought it wasn't like I liked the original much better. And I think that is like its own movie. Like I think the remake should just be just a zombie movie that had anything to do with the trilogy.
Well, but I mean, it was the same exact story, right?
Roughly, they're like in the original Dawn of the Dead. If you want me to get into it, the original Dawn of the Dead, it's so much of the movie is about them like securing the mall and like, but in the
It's a commentary on commerce and commercialism.
yeah, but in the the remake, they just inhabit the mall and they're like, it's safe and that's it, and like they're hanging out for a long period of time, and that's like pretty much it. And it's like I said, it's a good movie, but it's like I feel like it should be its own thing. And I feel like if this guy wanted to make a big boat, why not just say it's just, hey, this is my big boat, versus going, this is Titanic 2.
Well, I think it's the same reason that movies are reboots and instead of new movies, is that there's a brand associated. Even though this brand is a horrible brand, right? Still, it's
we plan on killing more people than the original Titanic. And there'll be they stress that there's actually more lifeboats on it than the Titanic.
And also, there's fewer icebergs in the ocean thanks to global warming. So
That's true.
it's much safer.
Oh, that's nice. That's good.
He's also going to rebuild the 2011 New York Mets.
Lisa, is there another news item you have for us?
Girls Gone Wild.
No news item. We just want to talk about it.
It's gone. They went bankrupt.
Yeah. You wanted... Lisa said, where do girls go after Girls Gone Wild? Florida.
Yeah, why would... I didn't even know that Girls Gone Wild was still a thing. Why would that even have been a thing anymore?
I feel bad for illegally downloading all those bootleg versions of it.
I can't find. I feel bad for people who bought it because like they clearly didn't who buy it now that don't understand that there's like lots of porn. It's a lot better.
Well, it's interesting. It's a generational thing, I think, because there's certain people. There still are paid internet porn sites, and there still are things like Playboy and like porn magazines. So I think there are people like us who know that there's a world of pornography of all shapes and sizes available to us for free on the internet. But then there are some people who are like, no, I got to buy tapes and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. Partly you may not have access to the internet as much, but also, it's sort of what kind of quality level do you want? And it's the same thing with porn. Like, yeah, there's free porn everywhere in like 30-second clips, but if you want to watch that full 2-hour thing without any kind of weird watermarks or anything, it's like movies when you can get an Academy Awards screener and watch Argo, but it's gonna every 10 minutes it's gonna say like property of 20th Century Fox, do not distribute.
Yeah, that's what I didn't like about Asian cum dumpsters. It just had that watermark on it all during the thing.
Yeah,
Took away from the
so
cinematic
if you pay extra,
quality.
you can get it without the watermarks.
Yeah.
And Argo is porn, right?
Yeah, it's for Hollywood.
But
I don't know. I mean, I see what you mean. I think I think people might not have access to the internet as much, and they may just also not know where to find, either bootlegs of porn or where to find those porn scenes that they want to watch without any kind of weird watermarks or things like that.
I think there's also a lot of people who still have a separate television from their computer, and so it's sort of like you want to gather the dudes around and watch some ladies taking their shirts off for plastic beads.
Yeah.
You do that in front of your TV, so you need a DVD rather than, gathering around your computer in your room.
The interesting thing about that, also, did anyone ever hear that that guy who was the owner, that he's
Joe
like
Francis.
Joe Francis, he's like a piece of shit.
Oh, of course.
But
You would have thought he's such a fine, upstanding citizen.
But I also heard a thing that he got raped at one point. Has anyone ever heard
What?
that? Yeah, I'm dead serious. I heard like a rumor at one point that Joe Francis got raped. And
Why would someone want to rape him?
I don't know, but it seems like really funny and fitting, right? That like
now, after he did this, or pre Girls Gone Wild?
After
Okay,
Girls
so it
Gone
wasn't like
Wild.
that's what made him do this.
No, he got raped by somebody, and I like there was something that was just like inherently funny in him. I was like, yeah, good, yeah, and it sounds bad to like advocate rape to anybody.
Was it before or after his Girls Gone Wild?
No,
Is
it
it
was
possible
that-
that you misheard that he had raped someone?
He has been accused of rape. There's also a rumor that I can't find any verification of that he was also raped by at gunpoint. Maybe
Where
by
did you hear this
gunpoint
rumor?
too. The internet.
Yes, of course, the most reliable source in the world.
So it's probably true.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just start it anyway. I mean,
He doesn't have the money to sue you. He's gone bankrupt.
Right.
Yeah, he soon enough he's gonna start turning tricks on the street. So he's probably gonna get beat up and raped, and like that, maybe that domestic violence act will help protect him, or it shouldn't. But
Shouldn't.
It's also tame now, though. The whole Girls Gone Wild.
yes, it is.
Thing.
It's
You know?
actually, I heard it's not like hardcore pornography. It's just
No,
like
it's not.
it's like women just
I've-
making out.
I've only ever seen Guys Gone Wild, and I recommend it. It's very funny.
Is it a
I
video
didn't know
series
there
or
was
just
such a
something you've
thing.
seen in life?
I had a friend that bought it,
Oh.
and we watched all of it. And it's in no way like erotic or like it's for gay men,
Right.
presumably.
Yeah.
And it's just like guys. I imagine the girl equivalent is like this. It's just guys doing cartwheels or like
yeah.
really like
Oh man, cartwheels.
really
boy.
ungracefully
that.
like
Nothing
jerking
sexier than a
off.
flopping around.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that you said ungracefully jerking off,
It's-
like there was any other kind of jerking off.
It's just like
Hey, you can really get
Yeah.
artistic with it if you want.
I use silk gloves. I will say, I wonder if there's a technological component to this that when Girls Gone Wild got popular, it was not as easy to videotape things with your phone.
That is
I
true.
was just gonna say
and
that.
so
yes.
you would have felt like you could go to Mardi Gras and see some topless girls, but you couldn't record it
Right.
without looking like a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy looked like a jerk for you, and then you could buy the tape of it. But now
Right.
you can pretend you're on the phone and
Right.
record all kinds of titties.
And then also, this was before the wave of sexting and things like that. And also,
Snapchat.
I mean, we have, Reddit has a whole subreddit called Gone Wild, where women willingly post pictures of themselves naked.
Wow. Yeah. This
So
is,
it's like we're in a whole new world of
yeah. And the fact they went bankrupt is just a sign of the tide changing.
totally.
the less
Yeah.
puritanical society. We're okay with girls going wild.
Yeah, and girls are okay with themselves going wild.
And it's all okay. Lisa, you want to go wild on the next news item?
oh yeah, because
We'll give you some beads.
It's-
if you read another.
it's
news item.
very wild. Dennis Rodman is hanging out with Kim Jong Un and giving him like messages for Bill Clinton, or not Bill Clinton, Obama, because I know who's president now.
Okay. Dennis Rodman, and he did that on like a thing for Vice magazine, right? Or Vice.com.
Whatever their like media company
Yeah,
is, it's for a documentary.
They send Dennis Rodman to go meet with the leader of North Korea, right? Yes.
yes.
North Korea, and like there's just something so weird and like it sounds like a shitty sketch, in my opinion. And
There's also 3 Harlem Globetrotters there.
yeah, because he's also apparently the leader of North Korea is like a big basketball fan and a big, I think, which I found strange too, that they would be even liking anything American. But
They love American culture. His dad was a huge movie buff,
Oh,
to the
really?
extent that he kidnapped like some filmmakers from South Korea and Japan and would make movies just in North Korea.
wow, that's crazy. He is also like I think he also saw the South Park movie. I heard too. I forgot the
Kim Jong Un did.
no the
Dennis Rodman did.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman.
He finally watched it.
Yeah, he was like, "Why they made fun of so many people, but not me? What? I'm not good enough to make fun of anymore." But that's so weird. It's like, is this gonna affect anything? Like, is this a
No.
positive thing? Or
It's it's a ridiculous thing. you
no,
know?
I know, but I'm just like, is that guy a dick? The Un guy?
I imagine so, given North Korea's human rights record and activities. I imagine he's kind of, in our frame of reference, a dick.
Right. okay.
Probably, although he's new enough that it's like, well, maybe he's not that bad. Like his dad is definitely a dick.
No, I know his dad was a dick.
I think the jury may still be out, or maybe not. I mean, he definitely didn't stop his dad from being a dick, but that's that can be hard.
The jury isn't out; they're just either locked up or corrupted.
Yes.
Right. Okay. I was just seeing if this was gonna make. We were gonna like be
World
okay.
peace.
I mean,
Dennis
no,
Rodman is like the UN.
Yeah, because Dennis Rodman reported on what was it, Stephanopoulos' show? What's the name of his show?
This week.
Yeah. He was on This Week with George Stephanopoulos and saying how like Kim Jong Un told Dennis Rodman to just have Obama call him. That all he wants is a phone call. He doesn't want war. And then just to heighten the hilariousness of it, this morning Donald Trump praised Dennis Rodman for talking to.
Now, did Dennis Rodman appear on The Apprentice at some point? Are they like?
Yes, he
buds?
did. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So that doesn't. I don't.
He was
count
like
that
voted
endorsement.
off immediately. He was not like
He's
that-
not even good enough to be on The Apprentice, and
No.
and he's gonna solve North Korea's problems.
You know what the funny, like when he was on The Apprentice, I remember seeing that, and this I can kind of like I remember seeing the first episode, and like all he had to do was just like make the effort to like be part of the group and everything, and he refused to do it.
Right.
And I was just like, well, you're on. This is what the whole point of the show is. You work together, and just didn't do it. I'm so surprised that he's.
Now, wait, is the point of the show to work together? Or is the point of the show to become even more famous than you are?
Well, let me tell you something about this show. I'm not here to make friends, so I'm here to run a radio show. That's all I know.
You're here to lose them.
I'm here to lose my friends by alienating them with my ignorance of the world.
Dennis Rodman used to date Madonna. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That is awesome. Yes,
Like Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla
Yes.
Ice date
Yeah.
Madonna.
Or
Yeah,
at least
he's
they were
in
in the
the-
sex book
yeah.
together.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Warren
Really?
Beatty.
Yeah, I know Warren Beatty.
Do you ever think about Warren Beatty and Vanilla Ice have put their penis in the same place?
I think about that all the time.
That's amazing.
And I'm not talking about Madonna. I'm talking about Warren Beatty's penis holder.
Oh Lord. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Get Informed. I'm Andy Rocco. This is Get Informed. I'm talking with Erik Tanouye and John Frusciante, and we're finding out what's going on in the news. Lisa, what's going on in the news?
Oh, so many things.
Yeah. The Pope?
The Pope.
Yeah.
Yeah. There isn't one.
Yep. No Pope.
Nope.
Interregnum for popes.
Nope Pope.
Yeah.
Um,
Pope spring break.
Popes gone
Yeah.
wild.
Pope's gone wild. Yeah.
the Pope said
Show us your rosary. You want rosary beads for your boobs?
Yeah.
Your Pope boobs.
the Pope was quoted in saying, "I'm too old for this shit." Yes.
That
thing-
was
well,
a
the
direct
thing-
quote.
Yes.
The thing that I read today that was interesting was, well, I mean, the British bishop, or one of the highest British bishops, who was supposed to be in part of this enclave to figure out who the new pope is, had to resign. First, he had to be like, I won't be in the enclave, and then he's like, oh, also I resign for sexual misconduct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Although it sounded like it was not touching boys, as one might expect, but I think making advances at other clergy who came to visit him and asked for help.
Wow.
But-
Really?
Yes,
And he was like, he's part of the committee of people that would decide the new
he was.
Pope.
I think it was supposed to be.
You know, I find that like just putting together the committee, I would think the people that you have on the committee should decide, like, be one of the contenders to be the Pope, right? Because
Well, your judgment is sort of clouded.
I guess
do that.
so.
Yeah.
But I mean, the last time I heard, I think you were on the show last time, John, when we talked about it a little bit, that the next Pope might be black,
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
and that would be pretty cool. I think Black Pope. That would be neat. I like that. I think that's all right.
Yeah.
I think we
I
should.
would no longer be able to use that as my hip hop name if it happened.
I don't know. I mean, like we had a black president. It's been good. I think. Like, let's have a black pope, right?
Excellent word choice.
Yeah, and then maybe eventually we can give them their own water fountain.
Yeah, this sounds great. Let's do it. I don't know. So, as any other things to weigh on this about the Pope? I mean,
Well, I mean, people have discussed this. What is happening right now? Because there's no pope. The other pope has officially resigned.
Yeah.
So what if somebody showed up claiming to be Jesus, and normally the pope would be the one who would be like, I verify it or not. Like, who's deciding what happens in the church right now? No one.
Isn't
Yeah.
there sort of like an interim guy who is in charge of that?
well, let's just say if Jesus came down, right, and he took one, literally get Penn and Teller there to see how he does his miracles, to bust any of the things that he did.
That's what Jesus' first stop is bullshit with Penn and Teller.
Yeah,
on Showtime.
yeah,
And
just.
considering how isn't Penn Jillette an atheist? So
I know, but
And
that's-
Teller doesn't speak. So
But that's the idea is to just if a guy actually did come down and he was said he was Jesus, did actual magic and was able to move.
No, wait,
because
you do
that's
card
what
tricks?
Jesus was known for is magic.
Yeah, he did
Pick a fish, any fish.
if he performs actual miracles, then we would be like, I don't know if you really need somebody to be like, oh, this guy's legit.
What if he shows up and says, "I found a way to cure AIDS
Oh wow.
in babies"?
Oh wow. Sure. All right. How are you gonna do that?
Injecting them with antivirals early on.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Sounds more like science than magic.
Yeah. But that's what the Pope's job was, is to like any
Verify
nutcase.
all Jesus claims. That's more just making decisions about things, because the Pope is infallible, but I assume that the intermediate time Pope is not infallible, right? Is not
Time
directly
Pope?
speaking for God.
Oh.
Yeah, he's semi-fallible.
Okay. But
Oh, sexy.
it seems to,
He wears a satin glove while he's semi-fallible.
it seems so weird. Like I don't know. Like there's a part of me that just, I have this thing, and it's not very popular. I have a very strong popular belief that we should like just destroy all cemeteries, and we should stop burying people.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's just a waste of land.
It's an incredible waste of land, and it's an incredible crutch for our own kind of narcissism and fear.
Yes, and like so, like I'm very, and I know it's not very popular, but like we really don't need a pope anymore. Like we don't the idea that we put so much importance on.
Well,
it
we
is-
Now,
don't
you're
need-
saying abolish Catholicism or just the Pope?
like I think the Catholicism thing we can like kind of keep.
You think that's okay?
I don't know. Like
It's just the
there's-
Pope that really gets your nads.
I don't know. Like I think there's just like, I feel like there's like some people who like get along fine who are Catholics, and they're fine. You know, they're like okay people. They're not like shitty, like as you would think they are. I think there's good Catholic people, but
there's people who use religion for like, they don't beat people over the head with
Right.
it, or don't use it in destructive ways.
well, yeah, there's like people who are Catholic, I think, who are like, oh God, my life sucks, but you know what? God has some kind of plan for me, so I'm just gonna keep going,
Right.
and then he does it. Versus like, and I think that's good. Like it does keep people kind of in line.
Can we go back to the cemetery thing? Have you discussed this on the show before or not?
My thing about destroying all cemeteries. Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, I don't know.
I've not mentioned it on the show before. I mentioned it in like stand up, and I've always gotten like blank stares about it.
I've heard about it a
You
lot.
want to abolish the entire like funeral industry or just cemeteries?
Not the funeral industry, like because the funeral industry still does cremation and stuff like that.
Now you
or-
want to just cremate everyone, or
just some other way. I feel like burying them is just kind of
what
very.
about the like natural burial thing that's big now? Have you
What's
seen
that?
where
What
they,
is
like,
that?
You like bury them near a tree, but you don't put a gravestone or marker. You just kind of like.
That's nice.
Is that
Does
legal?
It's only legal in some states because there's a huge funeral industry lobby that prevents you from being able to do that.
But does that in any way damage the water table, or does
Yeah,
is it
that's what I'm
all?
no, they
wondering.
may like cremate you first. It's done in
Okay.
a like natural habitat-y kind of way.
Well, I mean-
what about the Tibetan burial? Are
What's
you
that?
familiar with this? What they do is they take your body out to it's like a Buddhist or Tibetan burial ritual where they take your body out to a field, and they make specific cuts into your dead body with a big knife, and then a bunch of fucking vultures come and devour the shit out of your body.
Oh wow.
Well, I hear that north of the wall, sometimes the dead men come back.
I
That's
would.
a Westeros tradition.
I mean, I think there was a certain point where we buried dead bodies because of like smell and like that was, and we just didn't like it. Just was like a way to finish it, like kind of thing. But like I feel like we have lots of ways to like do it in such a more effective manner that isn't like just taking up a lot of space and
Yeah.
like where like you can build a park.
Are you excited to have no gravestone or marker when you're dead?
When I'm dead, I mean, I'm happy to have memories, and like, isn't this kind of a gravestone? If people want to know
That's
what
right.
I was like, they can listen to these recordings or ask my fucking kids like what I was like. They'd be like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, he was kind of a dick,
Right.
and he was really obsessed with this zooter."
We believe. Not to sidetrack this whole show with this, but like
Yeah.
we believe that, or not we, but a lot of people believe that our beings exist up there in heaven somewhere or down there in hell, and then by going to a grave and a gravestone, we can talk to our dead relatives who are listening to us and understand what we're saying, and that's
Right.
nonsense.
Right. I think it's also the fact that like gravestones also make you like they make you feel guilty for like no reason. You're like, oh, I didn't go visit my gravestone.
That's true.
My
And
gravestone calls me every like Sunday. It's like, how come you didn't come visit?
yeah, and it's just like like I miss my grandmother, but like I feel bad that I didn't go see the gravestone, and I'm like, that's has nothing.
Now,
It's
just to
like-
make this more controversial, would you want to like plow under Arlington National Cemetery? Make that a mall?
Yeah, sure.
It's kind of like if you threw out the actual CD from your Columbia House subscription, but you kept the case, right?
So you've got AIDS. AIDS is the CD
Yeah.
in that metaphor from the previous segment.
And I think above all the reasons I stated why there should be no cemeteries, the biggest one is what if the dead come back
Yeah,
to life?
just Shaun of the Dead.
Right.
What if the
documentary you
dead come
saw
back
that
to
you
life? We are fucked. There's so many dead people.
Now, but isn't it better that we've buried them 6 feet under? That it's harder for them to come get us?
Have you seen any movies? They can get through that. It's real easy for them. So I don't know. Yes, maybe. No, I don't know. All right. Anyway, is there any lighter news that we can talk about, seeing as we're toward the end of the show?
Lighter news?
Yeah,
No.
I'm looking at the list.
No.
What about the shark thing? I
Oh
heard,
yeah,
That's pretty light.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
100 million sharks are killed every year for soup.
Wow, that's ridiculous.
But how is the soup?
Yeah, is the soup good? This is shark fin soup, I imagine, right?
Yeah, I think
And
so.
Campbell's chicken noodle soup.
Oh wow, I didn't know
Mostly
that.
shark.
Good.
Yeah, this has been a problem for a while, right? That there's a sort of massive epidemic of sharks being killed just for their fins.
I also is it true that they also can like is the movie Deep Blue wrong in saying that there's something in sharks that you can help use?
I'm thinking
to
Deep
your-
Blue Sea, I think.
Is
which
it?
is different from Deep Blue.
Or you're thinking of Deep Blue something, the
Yeah.
90s wonder pop band.
Are you saying can they become giant and eat Sam Jackson? Yes, that's true.
Yeah. No, but they were saying that there's something in sharks. There was some research that they are just like cures for senility, or I forgot. What
I think sharks are like one of the lowest evolved animals, right? They're horrible. They're not like
yeah.
dolphins.
Well, great white sharks have never evolved.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're exactly the same they
Yeah.
were as. Oh wow, interesting.
Fucking perfect. God got it right on that one, right out of the gate.
Wait, what do you mean? I mean, they evolved into great white sharks.
But since then, they've made very little,
And
if
that they-
any,
they are
evolutionary-
very old.
Yeah,
But that-
progress. Yeah.
So they're kind of shitty. So like, why do we care that they're gonna die? I mean, I guess the food chain, I guess, huh? And
Yeah, I mean, anytime you massively fuck with the species of this planet, you're gonna have, some sharks eat something eats sharks.
right?
They serve a
Asian.
function.
Is it? Who eats shark fin soup? Is it Asian or
Lots of people.
Yeah, if we kill off all the sharks, we'll lose all the Asians, which is a concern to me. And also, there's the danger that, like in Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, an alien species from the future will come back to Earth and say, "What have you done to all your sharks? We're going to destroy the Earth."
Right.
And then you'll have to travel through time and find some sharks.
Where's shark fin soup a delicacy though? Where's like that
Chinese cuisine.
Big... Okay, that's right. All right.
Yeah, and if Star Trek 4 was nothing if not a cautionary tale.
So like 100 million sharks. That's pretty.
Is that number correct? That seems super high. As we were discussing
Yeah.
before the break, I don't know if that's going to make it on the air.
According to the BBC, let's see, in 2010, the numbers were between 63 and 273 million.
Oh, but it's the
Huge
BBC, so they're
error.
using the metric system.
Right. Metric counting.
They count anything as sharks.
Yeah. And are they because it's called shark fin soup? Are they just
Yeah.
killing the shark for the fin and that's all they're using?
Yep.
Yep.
That might be the only part that you can make soup out of, because the rest of the shark is like a disgusting mess of teeth
I've
and
had
boat
shark
parts.
before though. That's pretty good. I thought.
You're part of the
So you're part
problem.
of the pro-
I had it once. Trade fair had it.
What kind of shark?
I don't know.
Because there's like some kind of squid is
Oh.
disgusting.
Is
I
this a-
imagine that some kind of shark is also not edible,
Okay.
really.
Okay. So
Tiger shark, hammerhead shark,
I didn't.
great white shark,
I just was given the food and I ate it. And,
miso shark.
And it's the same thing with lots of species, elephants and rhinos and all. There's a lot of, we're killing everything for one
Right.
part of it.
It seems so much worse. So it's like they're not even using the rest of the shark.
Yeah.
Yeah. They should get the Indians on this. Like,
Yeah, use the whole buffalo.
Yeah,
Go into
use
those be like, hey, we beat up our women. Sneak into their reservations by being abducted through the Violence Against Women Act.
well,
Just dump dead sharks.
I
Yep.
would think there's a lot of high school freshmen that like I don't they use like the teeth to put those in the high school freshmen?
Australian surfer dudes.
Yeah, in their
yeah.
in their apartments.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it's not getting totally not all used.
But that stuff is like prehistoric teeth that you find in riverbeds.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, can you imagine like if the guy who made the Cove was like, oh, by the way, 100 million sharks. Fisher Stevens,
Yeah.
right? Producer of the Cove, loves fish, hates sharks.
Yeah.
You can actually buy shark fin soup at over 55 restaurants in New York City.
Oh, let's go.
Is that how Rocco had it? Did you have shark fin soup or you had shark meat?
I had shark meat.
Oh.
You said the trade fair had it.
Yeah.
Trade fair. I honestly I've gone to like look again to see if they'll ever have shark again. Just to like try it again. But they don't. It was like a one-time occurrence. That
I've
they had.
never seen that.
I had it at Moby's restaurant.
Oh.
Oh, wait a minute! You're getting all judgmental at me, and you had it.
No, I'm kidding. He's a
I was gonna
vegan
say.
restaurant.
I was gonna say. That was my follow-up question.
Well, that's well, I'm not gonna have it anymore. That seems wrong.
Wait, was it good?
It was all right. I mean,
Okay,
it's
so you're not giving up something you love.
no, it's like I mean, a lot of fish. I love fish, like to eat, and I love fish
And
as
to listen to.
and to listen to, and I
And
like.
to rub on your balls.
I also have a fish. I also have a pet fish too, and I like fish a lot, but the general taste of most fish, it's all kind of a variation of like the last fish you ate. It's like you
might be eating fish wrong.
Yeah. Or you have a very numb palate.
I know it's all like taste like salmon and tuna. Like the taste, like can you really describe the vast difference between salmon and tuna? I know there.
Yes.
If you blindfolded me and put a salmon and a tuna in front of me, I could tell you the difference between
Yeah.
Wait, without just by looking at them?
by looking at them. I could feel them.
Oh wow!
I mean, tuna tastes like mayonnaise and celery and rye bread.
I just feel like fish all kind of has the same taste. So like shark was kind of, it was tasted like fish. And it was
It was probably more of a textural thing.
yeah. The weird thing is the skin is very like coarse, like sandpaper. Like it's like you can't
Of
eat it
Shark?
of shark.
Yeah.
You don't eat it though. So it was interesting though. I felt like I learned a little something, and I did. Anywho,
Trade Fair also sells lamb testicles.
oh yeah,
So-
Do?
yeah.
They sell rabbits,
Yeah.
pigeons.
Trade
It's-
fair.
You got to
Yeah.
come to Queens.
But the other thing about the trade fair testicles they sell, it says like on the package it says testicles, and then in parentheses, I'm not joking, it says balls. Like
What?
they're just like just in case you were really confused
Right.
about this.
Just in case you don't know what testicles,
testicles
are.
are balls.
You only know what balls are.
Well, anyway, what's where can we see you guys doing shows and such? You have I know you both have weekly shows.
Yeah,
You do?
Saturday at 10:30 p.m. at UCB East. I am in a show called Airwolf.
Great improv show.
Thank you.
Lots of really funny people.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah. Do
Saturdays.
you have a Twitter? I'm sorry.
Do I have a Twitter? Yeah, it's John J. Frusciante, which
Nice.
is get your pens ready. JOHNJFRUSCIANTE
Nice.
at Twitter or
Yes.
whatever.
And Eric, do you have a Twitter and a show?
I perform every Saturday night at 7:30 at the UCB Theater in Chelsea. That's 26th Street and 8th Avenue with the curfew. And my Twitter is Toyns, which is spelled TOYNS. T as in Thomas, O as in oh yeah, Y as in Yankee, N as in no you didn't, and S as in shark.
Wonderful. Thank you. And Lisa, did you want to give a shout out or a plug to anything?
Sure. I have a monthly show at the Pit. That I think the next one is March 16th at 8. And my Twitter is Lisa Barracuda, which is spelled how it sounds. And you can also follow the show on Twitter at GetInformedUCB, and we also have a website, getinformedradio.com.
Yeah. So why don't you, if you have any questions, you can just email the show, and we'll like talk about any topics, or if you have anything that you want to like ask anyone on the panel, or if you whatever you want to do, just email us through the website. That would be cool. You can
Okay.
Yeah. I was just telling the panel today.
I'll do it.
I'll think about it.
Yeah.
Send you some links to the Funeral and Cemetery Preservation Society.
F you, man.
I can't send you an email, but I can make a video on my VCR when I'm done watching porn.
Send us some vines. You can follow me on Twitter at Andy Rocco, and that's been it. I'd like to thank Erik Tanouye and John Frusciante for doing the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's
Thank
been
you.
very informative and fun. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank Jason and Ben, who pitched things to the show to be read. And I'd like to give it up for our overlord, Jason Shabiro. I've been Andy Rocco. It's been real.